Hey everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers and Rockin Robbie Live, here on a rare Monday night. Rockin Robbie Live brought to you by Pop Culture Philosophers. How's everybody doing? Once you get in the chat, let me know that you're here. Let's touch base. Let's keep in touch. Let me know that you're safe. Let me know that you're doing well. Sound off. What's up, Sam Fett? What's up, Easy Reader? How y'all doing? I'm doing good tonight myself. I know some people may have saw that portal thing and been like, yo, are we doing a Teen Dog Shades night again? No. But I feel like another one's coming up soon. Anyway. How are y'all doing? What's up, Chris? What's up, Daniel? Good to see you in here. It's time for Rockin Robbie Live. We're doing the typical jam that we usually do on Sunday nights. There was supposed to be bad weather last night in my area. Luckily, we did not get hit. What's up, Mikey? Luckily, we did not get hit significantly in my area, though, like southeast of us, kind of got hit really bad. Had some tornadoes go through and stuff. What's up, Eddie? All that jazz, so. But we're going to have a good old time tonight, talking about comic books, movies, television, pop culture, a whole lot more. A little bit of show and tell towards the end of the program. What's up, comic book therapy? So yeah, in actuality, I probably could have done it last night, but sometimes when you have these very severe weather days, what's up, Herminio? When you have these severe weather days, you got to kind of take it seriously around here sometimes. One time we were without power for like an entire week. It was wild. I thought that'd be the wildest like societal thing I went through in my life, that and 9/11, but you know, then now we have what's going on now, which is pretty crazy too. So once you get in here, sound off, start throwing in the questions. What's up, Kirby B? Your questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, all that stuff helps fuel the show. It fuels the show. So get your thoughts in. What's up, Reggie? How are you doing, buddy? I do want to point out that you can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can join the PCP Army, which is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, you might as well go ahead and follow Pop Culture Philosophers there. You can also follow us on Instagram, and you can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP and be like these cool fellas right here. David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Josh, Brian, David, Dee Bullseye, Dean, Dunlaney, HC, Jason, Have, Kenneth, Monmeet, Michael, Peter, Robert, Seth, Timo, TJ, and William. But just watching the show, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff is support enough. Thank you so much. Speaking of support, we are, of course, always open to super chats, especially during these times. But I will say that we are $25 away from raising enough money to get that damn Toy Biz Joker van. So I'm not telling anybody what to do. We appreciate every super chat. We're $25 away, y'all. $25 away. And I'm very excited. And after that, we're going to focus on a new microphone. Mikey, I'm drinking Straight to Ale's Monkey Knot. It's their IPA. It's pretty much their normal. It's got a beautiful color to it. Look at that. Look at that color. That beautiful, rich color. It's got a nice hoppy taste. I like my beers bitter and hoppy. And in a comic book glass. So that's what I'm drinking. That's usually what I want. That's usually what I'm drinking. What Galactus you want to see? What are you talking about? What Galactus? That didn't help it at all, did it? Reggie. Thank you, Reggie, for making it difficult for me. Now I got to pull out the old calculator because when you start getting into cents, oh, the Galactus Pop, yes. Well, I do plan on, didn't I say Saturday night that I was probably going to open it tonight? Yeah, I'm going to open it tonight. I got some other ones I want to open up to fill this out right here. See some holes right there, right? Well, we're going to fill in those holes tonight. Maybe we'll just open up a crap ton of Fantastic Four Pops. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Dylan, you son of a bitch. Reggie, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that, my man. So now we are $13.89 away from the Joker van. Toy Biz did a Joker van in the early 90s. It's a great toy. I had it when I was a kid. There's a toy just like it, just a different paint job. It's the Punisher van. I want both. So I mentioned it, and some people started throwing in some money towards it. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to make this a thing. We're going to fundraise this thing and do a video about it when we get it in and all that stuff. And I looked at the Punisher van, and it's like $500, $600. So we're not doing the Punisher van. No way in hell. I'll buy another Joker van and we'll paint it. How about that? Dylan, you son of a bitch. I'm glad you're here, my brother. Good to see you. Hope everything is well up in Cleveland. We're all just making it together. What's up, S Squared? How you doing? What's up, Unstoppable Cockblocker? Has it been at least 5 minutes yet? Okay, cool. Apparently, YouTube doesn't really want you to super curse or nothing until like 5 minutes through the video, apparently. I don't know. Something like that. And not saying that your name is a curse word, but it's got it's spelled with a K. So I understand the difference, but the algorithm may not anyway. I don't know what's going on. We'll take a look at this week's new comics. No, we won't. There's no new comics coming out this week. It's kind of sad. It's kind of depressing. I'm still getting used to this. I've been reading a lot of old school stuff. People in the PCP Army know what I've been reading, but I'm going to hold off on really talking about it too much because I've got a video that I plan to make this week that's involving 3 early 90s Marvel series or storylines that I'm reading and just kind of doing a quick little silly solo revisit, if that makes sense. What's up, Green Man? How are you doing? S Squared says, just read Quantum Age, was really cool. That is good. Anything Black Hammer's good. Quantum Age is good, especially when you read it all together in one thing. Yeah, all good, just getting ready for work. You know how it is. Started reading Maxwell's Demons. Man, that book is good. Only on chapter 2, but the artwork and coloring in that is fantastic. Yes, that's Vittorio Astoni. He does the coloring and the line work. He also was the colorist on These Savage Shores, which I know that you read. So think about the beautiful coloring on These Savage Shores. Same cat that does Maxwell's Demons. He also is the colorist of Canto. Dylan, did you get a chance to read Canto? If not, it's amazing. So good. So weird to do this on a Monday night. Just vibes different. Vibes cool. I like it. I like it, though. Excuse me. You got to drink beer, not breathe it. Is everybody having a good week? So, we don't have any new comic books really to read. I mean, there are some new digital releases. Not many, obviously. I support the idea of not really going ahead with digital releases over print releases. Obviously part of my livelihood is selling print comic books. So I completely get supporting the local comic shops and all that kind of stuff. So that's super, super cool. But there is still new comic books to come out. And what it's doing is it's giving me, because if you notice, I have been doing the weekly comic book review still. I have not missed a week yet. Not as many people have watched it over the last couple of weeks, but it's okay. I understand. The big titles that we're all wanting to talk about, they're missing, But so what we're doing is it's giving me a chance to check out books that I totally would have skipped out on. And I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who I was talking to. They were saying, yeah, I can imagine that's cool because it's giving you a chance to check out some of these books that you probably would skip over or not even order for your shop. I'm like, you're right. Because when there's only 15 books available, you can kind of pick and choose and check some stuff out. And I've actually been able to read some really cool stuff that I probably wouldn't have read before, especially some of the Action Lab stuff. I need to start looking more into what they're doing. Because Cutman was really good. Villain Seeking Hero was really good. Sweetheart was really good, of course. And I mean, Action Lab is the only one I know that's continuing to release digital, even though the print's not available. But I do think that most of their stuff is released digitally anyway. And I don't order a lot of their stuff from my shop. We ordered the David Pepose stuff, and we order like special order stuff, but not a lot of Action Lab gets a lot of notice. So they really have been releasing some pretty solid, decent indie digital books. What was there one? Burning Rubber. I think if you like crime fiction, if you're into crime stories, it's a one-shot. It's super cheap. It's like $1.99 or something, but it's not going to change your life. It's not the greatest comic book ever, but it's pretty solid. And it's given me a chance to check out some of these Comixology originals that I've actually really enjoyed. The Chip Zdarsky one from a couple weeks ago, Afterlift, that was amazing. If you have a Comixology subscription, these are free to read. Otherwise, they're still super cheap. Last week, there was Quarter Killer by Vita Ayala and Danny Lohr. Love their work. Really liked that book. This week, there's one that's edited by Joe Corallo and artwork by, I forgot who the artist was, but it's written by Mags Visaggio, and super excited for that one. So at least I got something, there's something to look forward to for a new comic book day, but new comic book day is not happening right now, is it? Not really. The idea of going to the shop and talking with people and connecting with the community and coming on here and watching YouTube videos of people showing off what they've got and everybody getting in a conversation, and I miss it. I miss it so much. So what have you been reading during this time? What you been up to? Dylan just said that he's been reading Maxwell's Demons. He's on chapter 2. Very excited for that. I sent that to him. Maxwell's Demons is one of my favorite comic book. It was the first Vault comic book I read, got into. And Dennis Camp, the writer's such super cool, awesome cat. And you should definitely follow him on Twitter. It's at mdesad. I have had the pleasure of chatting with him a few times. I definitely got to get him on the show one day. Definitely got to get him on the show. I would love to talk to him for an hour or two. But big into Grant Morrison, big into Kirby, big into the technique and the actual craft of making comics. Doing good. Oh, Once and Future book is lit. Green Man's been reading that one. Ronnie's reading Lucifer. I got Dan Waters' first Lucifer trade over there. I need to read that. Action Labs, Locke and Spencer, Volume 1 and 2 are worth checking. Yeah, absolutely. I've read those. Spencer and Locke. Spencer and Locke is amazing. David Pepose was the writer of that. There is a chapter 3 coming, so be excited for that. And have you read Going to the Chapel yet? Same writer. It's basically Die Hard at a Wedding, and it's great. Trade is out now. It's complete, 4 issues. Fantastic stuff. What's up, Bake the Snake? How are you doing? Good to see you around. Haven't seen you up here in a minute. Glad to see that you're safe, homie. Just read Jeff Lemire's Animal Man Omnibus. It was dope. Reggie, I've always been wanting to go back and revisit that, and also Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing that goes right along with it. Amazing. 2 really good books. Everybody likes to talk shit about the New 52, and I hope some of y'all watched our Superman Red Sun movie review. We do it live, and so the movie reviews right now are done live. So if you look at it and you're like, well, I don't want to watch this movie review that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. No, it's not. The movie review is like the normal 20, 30 minutes. And then we just kind of just hang out and chat because, we haven't been able to hang out either. So you're basically getting usually the behind the scenes conversation that you would get. It's us with literally people, they will bring over toys. We'll show off our new toys. We talk about the new comics. We talk about movies and pop culture. And I love doing it live, connecting with them live, I love doing live stuff. I've learned that. That's something I really, really like. Anyway, I also still have to read the Conspiracy Alien Abduction book. Brian, let me know how it is because they're very interesting to me, the conspiracy ones, but it's still Xenoscope and I just don't trust them. Reading the X-Men Classic backups, yes. The extra material, yeah, the reprints of it. There used to be a trade called X-Men Vignettes. That was that, but I read X-Men Classic as it was coming out in the 90s. I didn't write out a I didn't have time. I got home from work because we're doing mail order and doing some inventory work and stuff like that. So I didn't write out an idea. I have some ideas to talk about, but I didn't write anything out. But anyway, someone mentioned it was Green Man. Yeah, it mentioned Once and Future. What are you reading, by the way? What are you reading? What are you reading? What are you reading? Since there are new comic books in print right now. So I forgot about the first six. First six. I almost said the first 5. I would never do that. I would never rip off Bueller. All right, first 6. The first 6 are the first 6 comic books from my personal collection that I'm going to show off for you tonight. At the end of the show, we have the final 9, so stay tuned for that. One of my favorite things that Bob and Bueller do on the new Comics and Coffee show is their first 5 and final 5. And so every time I have one of them on the show, I do it. Like I did a Rockin Robbie Live with, because there's another series that I've started doing during this whole quarantine pandemic situation called Rockin Robbie Live with. And I did one with Comics with Bueller, and I did one with Everything Comics. And on both of those, we did a first 5 and a final 5. And I'd geek out when I do that shit, right? Anyway, so here's my first 6. These are from my personal comic book collection. And I always got some fire to show off. Brian says, I like the original conspiracy theories a lot. The latest one-shots have been okay. Daniel's finally reading Harleen. How are you liking it? Comic Book Therapy, Absolute Carnage, amazing. I need to go back and read Absolute Carnage all together in one chunk. In fact, I want to do a revisit of Donny Cates' Venom up to now. I reread the Hellboy's Return of Saturn issues. Those are good. Those are really good. I'm very pumped to see where this story's leading. Huff House Art, what's up? I'm not reading. I'm just collecting 10-cent comics. Well, if you're going to collect comics, collect 10 centers. So here's the first 6. 20 minutes into the show. There's Superboy number 1 right there. Oh, that's right. But look at that. Signed by Carl Kiesel and Tom Grummett. Y'all got to know that I was a comic book reader, an avid comic book reader in my adolescent years in the 90s, and I loved the hell out of Superboy. So when Superboy moved on from the reign of the Supermen and got to his own series, it blew me away. And last year I got to meet Carl and Tom, and they were super nice, courteous dudes, creators of that Superboy, Connor Kent. So that's the first one in my first 6. Because I would never rip off Bueller. Here's an Aquaman, number 36. This is from the New 52 run with the Lego variant. I love Aquaman, so I try to get up some of these really cool, nifty variants right there. My favorite of which being the Robot Chicken variant. Well, I have to find that and show it off to you one day. But yeah, there's my Lego Aquaman variant for issue number 36. New 52, what is that? Is that volume 4 or 5? Something like that. We had some Mignola talk. Here's my Amazing Screw-On Head number 1. This was just a one-shot comic book that Mike Mignola did back in the early 2000s. I love it, and I've never gotten rid of it. I've always had it. I even have that old crappy thin-ass tape I used to use. By the way, always double tape if you tape your books. Double tape. That one singular piece of tape right there doesn't work. Anyway, this is a great one. They did a little goofy short film of it with Paul Giamatti. It's really cool. But if you can find it, the Amazing Screw-On Head is, if you're a Mignola fan especially, it's a nice little curiosity to add to the collection. Yeah, Mikey, that Superboy is tight. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Right here's Blade one-shot, Crescent City Blues, number 1, from the 90s. Trying to capitalize on the Blade movie success. Didn't really work. The story's okay. It's got Gene Colan on the artwork, though, and that's really cool. But you guys know I'm a big Blade fan, so I'm making a more concerted effort to show off some of my favorite Blade books that I own. I don't have too many, because he doesn't have too many comics. Talking about the late 90s, how about Mutant X? There's the Mutant X number 1. X Factor for a while became Mutant X because Havoc wound up going into an alternate reality where things were much darker and bleaker, and it was so much fun. I love Mutant X, and last year I got to meet Tom Rainey, got him to sign it. He was the artist. But that's a cool, underappreciated late 90s Marvel run. What's up, Logan? Hey, what's up, Perry? And the final bit of my first 6 is a Batman 497. We all know what that is. It's the breaking of the bat. This is the infamous issue in which Batman gets his back broke by Bane. And this was one of my favorite comics when I was a kid. Super, still one of my favorite comics ever. So yeah. So any questions, get them in right now. Let's fuel this conversation. Let's get it going. Oh, yeah, that Amazing Screw-On Head is really cool. It's a goofy, silly, fun comic, and it's great. And you should definitely check out the animated one-shot little thing they did with Paul Giamatti. It was really cool. I'm pretty sure this Blade one, I'm pretty sure it came out after the movie. The one that came out during the movie was Sins of the Father. I have that one, too. They're all in a trade now. It's called like Blade, Blood, and something. It's basically all the random Blade stuff that they had in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I'm pretty sure... Oh, is it before or after the ongoing that dropped? It's right... I think it's right before they did the... So they tried to do an ongoing series. It only did 3 issues, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and then it just ends. It just ends. And it was part of that late 90s Strange Tales line that they did. I think that's right. I think the Crescent City Blues one is right before. Let's just open it up and verify all this. Tom Rainey. Tom Rainey was the artist on the Mutant X. Hey, what's up, John? How are you doing? Let's look. It's March 1998. So that's actually before the Blade movie hit. So I guess once they realized there was going to be a Blade movie coming out that year. But it's got Gene Colan artwork. Let me find some good bits. It's not the strongest Gene Colan artwork already. I mean, obviously he was already kind of getting up there in age, but I really like it. I love Marvel horror from the 70s. Werewolf by Night, Morbius, Monster, Frankenstein, supernatural thrillers. But the pinnacle is Tomb of Dracula and Blade. So yeah, that's before that 3-issue series they did, and then Bart Sears did a series in the early 90s or the early 2000s, and then they did a Max series. None of them were very good, but I don't know. I think Blade's one of those characters that deserves more, especially because of his movie success, and they just have never done it. It's never lived up to its hype. Never, ever. And y'all, I know I say this a lot, and I'm not even kidding. I have a 5-year plan for a Blade solo comic book that could wind up sparking a whole new horror Marvel renaissance and end in a big line-wide crossover if necessary. So, anybody at Marvel, just holler. You want to get a Blade book go? You give me a good artist like Juan Ferreira. Yeah, we'll get it going. What are your 6 favorite Batman story arcs? Well, John, I think I can pretty much do this because I've already released my top 5 favorite Batman stories. And I don't know if I can remember that exactly, but off the dome. And top 5s, top 6s, top 10s, whatever, they all change so frequently. Favorite 6 Batman story arcs. Immediately, Batman Year One. There you go. Batman Long Halloween. That's 2. Dark Knight Returns. That's 3. The Killing Joke is more of a Joker story. but we'll still count that, all right? All right? That's number 4. What's next? Greg Rucka, his run on Detective Comics, which is collected as Batman New Gotham, trade paperback 1 and 2. We have them at the Deep, by the way. That Batman New Gotham, I love the shit out of that. And it goes into Batman Fugitive and Batman, this is basically the Rucka run. And then for number 6, I could round it out, say, and maybe this is not in a particular order, after all, but the Grant Morrison run. In particular, the Batman and Robin run that he did with Frank Quitely and other artists, that one especially. Big shout out, though, to, I had it in my head, what was it? No Man's Land. Really like No Man's Land. There you go. So if you need some, and by the way, I'm down to do recommendations tonight. If you're stuck at home, if you're fiending for some good reading, I'll give you some recommendations. Do you think the Akira live-action movie should be made? Def Rocker, I actually love the Akira book. I love the Akira animated film. I would like to see Akira done again, live action. I'd like to see that, especially when people like Guillermo del Toro at one time was attached to it and other people have been attached to it. I can't remember who's attached to it right now because it goes back and forth. But to be honest with you, I think the comic book is superior to the movie. The movie's okay, but it's just like the tip of the iceberg. So I actually probably more accurately would like to see a television series, like an episodic series release. That would be really cool. Cockblock, they aired the Amazing Screw-On Head animation on Sci-Fi years back. Hell yeah. I got it on a DVD. Yeah, they used to make these things. Hey, Jay Strick, what's up? Jay Strick was on our last live stream. You know, we've got, I keep seeing this like speck of something on my hat right there. It's bothering me. What is that? It's something on my hat. Anyway, Critters, by the way, won the movie poll. So now I just got to figure out a way to get Brooks to watch Critters, and I'm just going to be like, Brooks, look, if you want to be a part of this Critters movie review stream, you're just going to have to rent it on YouTube or something. I'm sorry, man. Brooks is, you know, it's too far gone. I don't have a hard copy of it. I got a digital copy. I can't lend a digital copy. But what's up, Jay Strick? How are you doing? Are you going to watch Critters with us, Strickland? But yeah, I think I'm down for a live-action Akira, but I think maybe doing a television series would be really cool. I love that comic book. We're actually, I'm not supposed to reveal any of the Season 3 stuff yet from Comics Revisited because we don't know when we're getting to it because of all this. But we're doing Akira. And that was the person who set those rules with me, but whatever. Strick says he's reading the whole Boom Power Rangers run. Yeah, it is so good. It's one of the best superhero comic books out there right now. The Last Night of St. Hagen by Dark Horse looks interesting. Unfortunately, no books being printed. Yeah, Logan, that sucks. And Dark Horse is firm on not doing any digital first, so that's cool. Eric says Mignola. Mignola's the best. Thanks for checking in on that. I have a Vast Blade collection, but never saw that out there. The series after the movie was trying so hard. Yeah. Which one? The 3-issue or the Bart Sears one? The Bart Sears one is definitely try hard. I really like the 3-issue one. I wish I could get a completed. It never finished. Even in the new trade, it's called like Blood and Chaos, I think. But it's got all that stuff from the late 90s, early 2000s collected. It even says at the end of it, this series was never finished. So we don't know how it ended up. I even got that Gambit number 4, which was kind of like the first appearance of the movie Blade almost in a way. In a way. Oh man, I've always wanted to read Paul Chadwick's Concrete, and I've never actually read that stuff. You're right, Unstoppable. I totally got to read that. Blade is like the Punisher, but not crazy. Yeah. Plus, vampires. Blade's the best. Blade is the best, y'all. Blade is the best. With the recent Morbius book, seems like now would be a good time for Blade. Yeah, I agree. We will get a new Blade book because they're doing that movie in the MCU with, what's his name? It's Ali, but what's his first name? Mahashara, something like that. Just finished Batman Hush this morning. Jelani and some of the others kind of poked and prodded me into revealing some of my more hot takes on the book Batman Hush on our Superman Red Son movie review. So if you haven't watched Superman Red Son, just go like past 30 minutes in and just start watching. And I start going. Dark Victory is a great Batman story, Max Washington. And in fact, if you're going to read Year One and Long Halloween, read them Year One, Long Halloween, and then read Dark Victory. Might as well read Haunted Night while you're at it. And then for shits and giggles, go and read Superman for All Seasons, one of the best Superman books out there. Really afraid to read Batman International, even though I love... Oh, I own all this. You mean Batman Incorporated? Oh, I love Batman Incorporated. Now, I know it pisses off some fans, but that's just what Morrison does. I love the entirety of Morrison's Batman run. Act 1 is his Batman work. Act 2 is his Batman and Robin work. And Act 3 is his Batman Incorporated work. And I love all of them. But I do think Act 3 is probably the weakest. But it's very strong at the same time. I don't think any of it's weak. But you should read them in that order to fully appreciate it. And the other thing that's majorly key to understanding Grant Morrison's Batman run is to understand Morrison's philosophy on it. The idea that, especially post-Infinite Crisis, every story happened. It all matters. All the weird, wonky stuff that kind of got written out of continuity to make Batman fit with that more Frank Miller mold post-Crisis. All the wonky sci-fi stuff, it happened, and it's part of the Black Case book, and it's a great run. But it takes some diving into, and Final Crisis is a part of it. And there's even a particular reading order in some parts, but it's so good. John, thank you so much with a super chat of $10. Which means we are now $3.89 away from getting the Toy Biz Joker van. The Toy Biz Joker van. And if the out of all the listings I saw, if one of the ones I saw is still active, I'm going to throw in an extra like $25 on my own and get the one that comes with the Joker figure on card, because I got that Joker figure out of package. I got like 3 of them. One of them complete, 2 of them incomplete. But I want one on card to go with my Bob the Goon and Batman. And seriously, we are $3.89 away from getting that goddamn Toy Biz Joker van. And that's exciting. Mahershala Ali. That's right, Def Rocker. Thank you. John just did it. He just took us above it. You took us above it, and now we're $1.11 into the microphone fund. So thank you, John, yet again. I really, really, really do appreciate that, my man. I know you, and I really want you to understand I appreciate the hell out of that. We all give John and Reggie and everybody else just a big round of applause, please, because we're getting a Toy Biz Joker van for the Huntsville Attic, for the PCP studio. I'm so damned excited, y'all. In less than in a week, we made this damn dream come true. Unfortunately, the Punisher one is too damn expensive. But just imagine when I open up the Joker van, just imagine it if it was black and blue instead of purple and green. It's literally the same thing. But everybody, yes, join Logan. Hats off to you, John and Reggie, and everybody else who's donated over the last week. There we go. Y'all, I can't. I'm serious as shit. I'm so excited to get this damn Joker van. So thank you so much. Lord Baltimore is my favorite Magnola, also like Zenoscope Heroes. Um, Lord Baltimore's amazing. As I've been getting my comic book collection in order, that's one of the reasons why I've been like showing off more comics, because I'm actually seeing them again for the first time sometimes in a while. Yeah, I cannot wait to do a reread on Baltimore. And you know, it's coming back. It's kind of like a sequel. It's like a new Baltimore. It's Lady Baltimore this time, and I'm really excited. Yes, Logan, Samuel, Kirby, Jonathan, Herminio. Let me pull up an image here. I want to show y'all the Joker van in case you don't know what we're talking about, but now it's paid for. We're getting it. That order will go through, because YouTube sends me the money at us once a month, but we'll put that order in at the end of the week. But now I'm going to look up a picture of it so you guys can see it. Probably should have already done that. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful, y'all. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I hope y'all didn't hear that. Bling, bling. There we go. All right, y'all. This is the Joker van that we just got. All the money raised for. Right there. How cool. How cool is that? I think it's super cool personally. $389 for the paint to make it a Punisher van. Thank you, Mikey. Make it a Blade van. I definitely need a second one to do that, and we'll get there eventually. But next we're doing a microphone. Next, I figured we'll do something silly. We raised the money for the camera, so we got the new camera, so we're able to like have nice, crisp, clear videos now for the weekly comic book review and things like that. Let's get a Ting Dog van. Oh, and Zach, too. Holy shit. That means... Okay. Got to recalculate here. Zach, thank you so much. Zach says, just started the second trade of Gideon Falls. God damn, it's good. Keep up the great work, Robbie. Thank you. I'm glad it's resonating with you. It's one of my favorite comic books ever. I love it so much. So, that means we are now $15 into the microphone fund. I like to play with my mic. I want to get a good, nice mic. And I was like, what's the best mic I think I'm going to get? So like, well, shit, what's the one Joe Rogan uses? So I looked that one up. I see a lot of people use it. Jimmy Dore uses it. I see a lot more people use it. I've got a Blue Yeti, but it's just too damn sensitive. I don't like it. It picks up noise from everywhere, and I don't like it. So that's why I rarely use my Blue Yeti. But the microphone, Zach, it's pricey. It's pricey, so I'm not trying to pressure people. But now we're going to start raising money for this microphone, specifically for the live streams and everything like that. Eventually, it'd be nice to get 4 of them for the podcast setup. However, we're just going to get the one. It's a lot. If it's good enough for Jimmy Dore and Rogan, it's not a cheap mic. But don't worry about it. Just as we progress, any super chats, from now on, are not going to frivolous toys. They're going to a new microphone. But Zach, I'm really glad that you're liking Gideon Falls. It's really good stuff. Brian says, just won a lot of cool promo posters. Excited because one of them is Beavis and Butthead. Hell yeah. Like from the 90s comic book series? Hell yeah. That's awesome. Hell yeah. So we were talking a little bit about how there hasn't been a new comic book day. And I want to address a couple things. Jimmy Dore went off the other day about Seth Meyers not having a mic at his house. Yeah, I saw that he was talking about, like, a lot of the late night talk shows were doing, what is, oh God, I got distracted. He was going off about how, because a lot of the late night talk shows have been doing, I like Lee Camp too. I do. I like Lee Camp too. I like Jimmy Dore, but mostly I like it more when, what should I say? I like Jimmy Dore more when Ron and Graham are on there. And they were on there the other day, and it made me feel so good. Because I do watch, I like watching his stuff, and I think he's funny. And he gets angry about some of the same things I get angry about. But he also goes a little overboard sometimes on certain things, and I'm not as, I'm a little bit more like water, I guess I should say. But I like Lee Camp as well. What's that other guy? He does secular talk. Kyle something. He's on The Hill sometimes. I like him, but there's something about that guy I don't like, which is weird to me. But I like Jimmy. But I really probably like Ron and Graham more. I probably need to check out their own, because they do their own stuff too. So I probably need to check that out. Did you see Jimmy Dore go off on that that poor guy that like runs like some kind of like small union somewhere? Oh man, that was hilarious. It was on a live show, so he didn't put it out as a video. He just kind of went off on him. I felt bad for the guy because the conversation shifted just like that, man. It was so weird. It'd be like if I brought like someone like Rob Liefeld on and had a nice congenial conversation for a couple minutes, and then he answered a question. All of a sudden it cuts back to me and I'm just railing him. It just makes what? I don't know if YouTube takes a bunch off. YouTube takes a cut. Obviously, Patreon, they take a cut. I don't know who takes the most cuts, to be honest with you. So, just if you, I honestly have no idea. I would have to look into that, Zach. But any donation anywhere, we really appreciate it. So we're getting the Joker van. Now we're working on a microphone, and I'm only saying that. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. Like, don't donate if you don't want to or if you can't afford it, obviously. But we got the new, I feel so proud of the PCP Army. We got the camera. Now we got the Joker van. But I will say that the microphone is very similar in cost to the camera. It's a little bit cheaper than the camera, but I want to get a new stand as well. Well, thank you, Zach. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Strickland, no, I have not watched Tiger King yet. Sorry. I'm an episode behind on Vagrant Queen right now. We'll be chatting about Vagrant Queen after the break. I've been watching Next Generation Season 2, and I'm nearing the end of that. And I've been slowly watching Clone Wars Season 1. And I fell behind a little bit on RuPaul's Drag Race, and now I'm like one episode away from being caught up to Season 12, which is the current season. GG. Totally going to win, by the way. If anybody watches RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm calling it. Calling it right there. Robbie, I have a serious question. Who is more responsible for Batman, Bob Kane or Bill Finger? Bill Finger. The initial creation is obviously important. The initial idea is important. Bob Kane created the idea of Batman, but that idea was molded by Bill Finger, and the Batman that we know and love today, there's so many people responsible for it. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, Frank Miller, Greg Rucka, Ed Brubaker, Jim Aparo, and Chuck Dixon. There's so many people responsible for that, right? But most of what we know as like Batman lore, I definitely got to credit to Bill Finger. I've heard that Streamlabs takes the smallest cut. I'm not an expert, though, just hearsay. I don't use Streamlabs. Are you talking about StreamYard? The StreamYard's the one that I do if I'm doing a show with someone else to bring someone in. I use OBS, and Streamlabs isn't OBS, and I hear Streamlabs is like OBS but better, so I've been wanting to check it out. But right now, what I use for these shows is OBS. It lets me do fun, cool things. I have a lot more control. I don't pay for StreamYard, which is the one that we do when I have a guest or something like that, because it's way easier to bring people in to do like a call-in type thing than it is here. It's way difficult to do it on this program. But this is my favorite program to stream on. I love it. I get to do all fun, crazy stuff. I get to do fun, crazy stuff like this. And how cool is that? I hit the wrong button. How cool is that? How cool is that, right? Anyway. Super cool stuff. Let's see here. Looks like we got a lot of people in the Bill Finger camp. But I didn't even think about that. If you're doing StreamYard and you get a super chat, YouTube takes a cut. Does StreamYard take a cut? Then that's two people taking cuts. Herminio says, Bill Finger all the way. Bob Kane was a snake. You know, Chris, I still haven't seen that Bill Finger documentary. Batman and Me or whatever it's called. I gotta check it out. Oh, Chris watches Drag Race. Hell yeah. Heidi is awesome. I think Heidi's great. She'll make it like top 6 or something, I think. I think she'll make it a little bit longer, but maybe not. I think definitely, though, one of my favorites is, oh, God, what's her name? Is it Ivy? Simply Ivy or something like that? I don't remember. I don't think she's going to do as well as I want her to. Britta's probably the next one to go, but I haven't seen like episode 7 or whatever. Gigi's the winner, though. She is unstoppable. She's got it all. She's got looks. She's a fashion. She can sew. She can design. She can be campy. She can act. She's got it all. We'll just see how she does in the music challenge. And like I just watched the Snatch Game episode, and that was one of the best Snatch Game performances ever. My favorite Snatch Game performance since oh my God, I can't remember her name, but the one that did Little Richard. Holy shit. Actually, I really like the one from RuPaul's Drag Race UK last year. I can't remember the name. I'm bad at remembering some of their names. My favorite, by the way, of all time is Bianca. Love me some Bianca, and I really am a big Trixie and Katya fan. And I also like Alaskan Detox, too. I'm a big Season 4, Season 5, Season 6 fan. Anyway, that's just for me and Chris. I don't know if anybody else watches Drag Race, but if you don't, it's really a great show. It's like a great show. The two reality shows that I really like to watch are Hell's Kitchen and Drag Race. Bag of Chips, that's right. Bag of Chips. No, Bag of Chips was Margaret Thatcher. That was Bag of Chips. Bag of Chips did Margaret Thatcher. And she had gotten like second place or something. Monet Exchange as Maya Angelou was great. That was a really good one. There's some big fails on it, too. Trixie as RuPaul, that was a big fail. It's painful to watch these things sometimes. I also really like Ben de la Creme. I really like Ben's, what's her name? The woman that played, she played McGonagall on Harry Potter. Anyway. So we're talking about new comics. I want to talk about Todd McFarlane's comments. Because it's kind of been all over the place. And I think Todd McFarlane has a really good idea. Todd McFarlane, if you didn't know, is the creator of Spawn. And I am a big fan of Todd McFarlane now, all of a sudden. But I think he has some really nice things to say about this. He was interviewed, I think, by Forbes. By the way, Todd McFarlane just raised $1 million in one day for his first Kickstarter to kickstart a Spawn action figure. He raised $1 million in a day. Talk about the most powerful man in comics. I think it's Todd McFarlane. I've been rereading the Spawn stuff. I'm 35 or 36 issues in, and I've read the Violator series by Alan Moore, and I've read the Angela series by Neil Gaiman, and I'm still loving the hell out of Spawn, y'all. I'll be honest with you. Really digging it. You read Spawn with the idea that you're going to appreciate it, and it's a whole new world. And Todd McFarlane is just, I used to hate so much on Spawn, and then you start realizing things like, man, yeah, he is still working on a new Spawn movie, but he doesn't want to work too well with certain producers. He has a certain vision, and it seems like he wants to make a horror film, and other people want to make a superhero film. Drag Race UK, the winner. The winner was the one that did Donald Trump. As soon as I see the name. Vivine. Duh. That's right, Vivine. But anyway, Todd McFarlane basically said that he thinks that what's the problem right now is that you're not getting one consistent thing from the majority of the comic book industry. You got Marvel kind of doing their thing, and DC kind of making their little statements, Dark Horse doing their stuff, and Image saying their stuff. And he said that the top 90% of the industry, which would be Marvel, DC, Image, and Dark Horse. But I think Dark Horse is really losing a boom. But he said there needs to be one cohesive plan from the comic book industry. And he actually thinks that they should continue doing digital comics. In fact, he says that they need to keep doing digital comics for free. He's like, we should pick the 10 most popular comics out there and continue to publish them digitally for free during this. Because he says, I understand how addiction works, and so do I. And when you have that habit broken, if it's broken for too long, it's easy not to go back to it. And he's more concerned about people losing the habit of going to their comic shop every week for New Comic Book Day. And I understand that. I think that's cool. And I would like to see if he's going to do something and maybe release the next issue of Spawn digitally for free. Put your money where your mouth is, Todd. You just raised over $1 million in one day. I know he's got it because that's what he said. He goes, we all can afford to do this. So if Todd can do it, Marvel and DC could do it. But that's the idea that he kind of proposes, that we still need to have new comic book content coming out to keep that excitement and that habit alive. And his suggestion is, he had one thing that I don't agree with. He said, let's say this goes for 3 months and I release Spawn 309, 310, and 311 for free digitally online. And then I just tell the shops, don't worry about it. We'll just pick up on the next issue. You don't have to worry about it. He goes, and people wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter to people about that. I think it would. It would really matter to the collector. They don't want their run interrupted. They don't want 3 missing issues of Spawn, So I get that, but I think the idea of them releasing some content digitally, like Marvel's got a big release right now with Empire. DC's got a big release with the Punchline stuff. Image obviously could continue doing the Spawn stuff. If they all gave that stuff out monthly digitally for free, and then would be in print later, I think that would keep the hype alive on the stories, and I don't think it would cut into digital sales historically, especially since 2011, when everybody was worried that digital sales were going to cut the physical sales, which I don't think is the true thing, right? But since then, it's not true. Digital sales have actually increased, have caused an increase in physical sales because people will read it digitally and then they're like, oh man, I really like that. I want it. And then they go buy it. And that's something Damien said on his channel, Sleepy Reader 666, was that he got back into comics as a digital reader, and that led him into being a physical reader and collector. So I don't think it's just necessarily, and I think I've pissed some people off by continuing to do the weekly comic book review with the digital releases, but I'm only really doing that because I'm down with the idea that DC and Marvel are not, and Dark Horse and Image and Boom and other, and Vault even, they released the first couple digital, but I think that was already kind of set. But I'm all about physical copies, y'all. I don't want anybody to get that twisted. I am a physical comic book reader over digital, but there needs to be something to keep the new comic book day going. And I like Todd's idea as far as that goes. Todd's idea about maybe just skipping 3 months of Spawn and not printing them, I don't like that. I don't think people would like that. But for the most part, I think Batman fans, Marvel fans, I think we would have gotten and read those free, if they would have done free copies of Empire and the Punchline, Batman 92, if they would have done digital copies of that, we all would have gotten it, downloaded it, and read it if it was free. And then when the comic shops opened, we'd go buy those. But at the same time, you don't want to release so many things for 3 months and then have shops have to come out of closing for so many months and have all this product dumped on them. So I understand that. But I do think that Sir Todd McFarlane, he's not a sir. I'm just, joking. PCP dubs him a knight. I think Todd McFarlane's kind of right on the idea that you don't want to disrupt the habit of weekly comic books. But anyway, hey, David Hatch is in the building, and so is Led Zepp. What's up? We're about to get back to some more conversation and stuff, and I want to know what you think about this. What do you think about Todd's comments? What do you think about when comic books are coming back? How are you feeling? How are you coping? What else are you reading? Let us know. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live. This is the theme song to Robbie Rants, which is the theme song you mostly hear here on the channel, but it's called the Robbie Rants theme. 062609. Enjoy. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back here to Rockin Robbie Live. So how's everybody doing? I see some comments that popped up during the break. Thank you for bearing with us, everybody. We appreciate it. To help fuel the second half of the show, get your comments, questions, thoughts, and concerns in right now. And don't worry, it's not a Teen Dog Shades night, because these are different shades. These are my straight to ale shades. Teen Dog Shades right here. But I think Teen Dog Shades might need to be a more regular thing sometimes. I don't know. So anyway, we last left off, we were talking about New Comic Book Day being gone. We were talking about Todd McFarlane's comments on said situation. For the most part, I agree with him. And somebody had said here, where is it? Yeah, McFarlane never said that he wouldn't eventually print them and, he wouldn't release them in comic form. No, he didn't. He didn't. But he alluded to the idea that it wouldn't be a big deal if a comic shop didn't want to order them. But what happens when the shades come off? Boring stuff. The cool stuff happens when the shades are on. I'm a Frankenstein agent of shade. Get what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. Anyway. Let's look at some comments. But we were talking about new comics and all that stuff, and when are they going to come back? What's the plan? What do you think about? We just had a whole bunch of different comments. But first, I do want to mention this. Please, if you are on Facebook, join the PCP Army. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and follow Pop Culture Philosophers there. We're also on Instagram. You can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can support us at patreon.com/PCP and be like these cool cats right here. David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Josh, Brian A, Brian B, David G, DD Bullseye, Dean Dunlaney, HC, Jason, Javi, Kenneth, Monmeat, Michael, Peter, Robert, Seth, Timo, TJ, William. And even more now. We have some new members that have joined up. So thank you guys so much. Mikey, Zach, y'all know who you are. Thank you for keeping the dream alive. Also, you can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. We also have a merch store where you can buy t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of craziness like that. And all those links are down below in the description box. We were having such a good time, I decided, let's throw on some shades for the second half. Y'all keep me going long enough. We'll take another break, and I'll come back with the Teen Dog shades on. I like doing these live streams. In the last live stream, the last Teen Dog Shades night, we went over 3 hours, y'all, and some of y'all were here the entire time. And I just want to say thank you so much. You blow my mind. That's nutso. That's nutso. Went over 3 hours. I was looking back, when I first started live streaming, I could barely go an hour, y'all. Thank y'all so much. This has become my favorite thing to do here is Rockin Robbie Live. I'm not going to lie. I still love the weekly comic book review. Can't wait for it to really fully return. Not just digital. I'm talking about like 10 or 13 titles. But, y'all, thank you so much. Because this Rockin Robbie Live, interacting with y'all, doing this live show, putting together these silly little graphics, fun little hypnotizing things and stuff. I'm really enjoying this. So thank you so much. Two Gun was in the building. Pew pew. What's up, buddy? John says they will get over it. Led Zepp says more digital. Keep paper comics limited. It enhances the collector's market. Not a bad idea, actually. Go back to a print only on demand, not an on demand thing, but for instance, when Marvel was coming out of bankruptcy, one of the things they did was they just started printing exactly what was ordered, right? And that's kind of been a practice that most publishers have kept since then. They always overprint a little bit to make up for shortages and damages and things like that. And maybe for some hype, but that's why you see so many second, third, fourth, fifth printings sometimes nowadays. is because they actually have a more limited print run than they used to. Modern comics are more rare than comics were in the 80s and the early 90s. Think about that. David says, I want Todd McFarlane to come over and clean my pool for free. I still won't read his comics, though. David, do you. You do you. I held on to my Todd McFarlane grudge for too long, and I decided to, it's the thing I do in my life every once in a while. You switch a paradigm, and little silly trivial things. And you just, I don't know. You become more like water. You become more fluid in your life. David, maybe you don't want to be more fluid, and that's fine. But David is a super cool cat. I know him personally. I saw him this week. It was good to see you. Glad to see that you're doing well. Logan says, I have prepaid books that I ordered and still waiting to be released. I just don't like digital. Robbie, have you heard anything from DC or Marvel of their intentions of leaving Diamond? No, not at all. The only comic book company that I know that has decided to leave Diamond as a result of this is Alterna. Now, at somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody had commented today or yesterday morning on the weekly pop culture wrap-up, because I mentioned that. I mentioned that Alterna was leaving or whatever, And they were like, I'm surprised that you're going to blah, 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 blah. All the politics stuff about Alterna and the comic book industry, I don't care about any of that, right? I really, honestly don't. I have thoughts and opinions about certain things in the comic book industry, especially, I guess, politically, but, who cares? Really, everybody's just going to make up their own mind about that. I stopped reading Alterna comics for the most part, though. There are a few that I've liked. I really liked The 12. I really liked Zero Jumper. So those were two that and I liked Tinseltown. But I haven't been reading a lot of them. Just overall, I thought a lot of them were okay, so I just kind of stopped it, because when you read so many comics, at times you're just like, well, if I just cut out this, I'll let it go. And, if I hear good things about something, I'll check it out. But they were the first ones to announce that they were going to leave Diamond. Now, I don't think this is going to be something that's going to happen. And I'm not trying to spark false hope or nothing right now, okay? And maybe it was a little irresponsible of them to publish this. But at the same time, Rich Johnston at Bleeding Cool, he reported that he has heard that Diamond has reached out to publishers and told them that they are going to start releasing comics in mid-May. So, the reason why I mentioned Alterna in the weekly pop culture wrap-up was because they had said, as a result of them hearing from Diamond, that they would not be releasing their books until August. Well, I did some diving in on this story, because anything that Diamond tells the publishers, I do not hear as a YouTuber or a retailer or as a fan. So I was like, where is this coming from? Well, Diamond fell behind on their payments, and then they put out a plan where they would start a payment plan to catch up on their payments. And it seems like they would be caught up on their payments around August or something. And I think Bounding into Comics or something like that. It's a site I don't follow. I don't know if it's super reputable or whatever. Now, I know people have their problems with Bleeding Cool, but I follow Bleeding Cool because Rich and company are reporting on sources they have in the industry, and whether the industry wants those sources to speak, that's how journalism works. So I think Rich gets multiple sources before he reports something. And sometimes you just hear things and it's kind of different, and the sources are not always the source from the source. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, all that aside, it seems like Alterna got the idea that they would not be fully paid until August, and that was not a model they wanted to be at. They are a smaller publisher. There are a lot of small publishers out there that at these kind of times, you got to worry about them if you're a fan of them. I've been keeping an eye on the situation at Vault, for instance, and Aftershock. I think they're two amazing companies. I'm hearing some really struggling things about IDW, but I hear that Vault and Aftershock are doing fine and working and doing their thing. And you also got to support the creators that do these books, especially if they're, it may be easy to be like, they shouldn't release comic books digitally until they're in print. It's easy to say that. But then let's look at these artists and writers and colorists and letterers and editors that are not getting paid right now because they're not working, because nobody knows when comic books are going to start being released again. Now, Rich reported that he heard that Diamond reached out and said they're going to start releasing things in mid-May, basically meaning that what they have in the warehouses right now, they feel confident that mid-May they'll be able to open up and ship those books out. A lot of surveys have been coming out. I think there's been a lot of pressure on Diamond from Marvel and DC to get this figured out, because I was certain that Marvel and DC would go ahead with DC in particular is going to go ahead with other distributors if Diamond's not ready. Like I said, May 1st, but it seems like they gave them a mid-May date. That could not be true, and we do not know how this entire situation is shifting. It's literally every day it's different. So it seems like Diamond is 100% on board with getting, it seems like they're getting pressure from Marvel and DC especially, and it seems like they're going to try to do whatever they can as the situation allows, and as it seems to look in a very optimistic look at everything. It seems like mid-May is good. I think it's June. I've said this on many live streams that we've done here over the last few weeks, but I said I don't think we're going to get new monthly comics until June. But here's the thing. They have April 1st comics in their warehouse right now. The last new comic book day we had was March 25th, print. And April 1st was the next one, right? Funny. Huh? I'll never do an April Fool's joke again. But, so that's what was going on there. And then I think that what's going to happen is that as soon as they can, and it seems like they're aiming towards mid-May, and that may shift and change. And maybe we shouldn't report on when it's coming back, but it feels like they were putting out things like, if you're not open for business, you can do mail order. Is there a home address we can ship your product to? So they're willing to ship product directly to the home addresses of retailers if they can't actually be at their shop to open it up. People are still doing curbside. People are still doing mail order, things like that. So there's a way that we can still have a new comic book day market. We may not be able to all gather up at the store together and have our conversations, but thank God that's what YouTube's for. So we can do that as well there. But that's what I know so far about that. But no plans to break off from Diamond. It seems like Diamond was struggling, and I was worried if this thing continues to go on for months and months and months, if it was truly an August thing. I think nobody was reporting that August being the date for new comics, except for Alterna and Bounding and Comics. Nobody was reporting that but them. It just sounded fishy to me. So I'm more on with what Rich is hearing from his sources over at Bleeding Cool. From any sources I have, nobody knows shit. And everybody's worried because some people were told pencils down and they're not getting paid. It's freelance work. If you're not creating, you're not getting paid. That was a ramble. I'm sorry. It happens. But when they do resume, they will resume. David, I'd rather they do things that benefit the LCS. I don't think any of us are going to stop buying comics after this is all over. I get what you're saying, David, but some people do. If you just stop that habit for a few weeks, they'll never come back. I see that all the time. People that sign up for a box, they're into it. They miss a few weeks, and it's easy now. So you just kind of forget about it. But yeah, the LCSs, they're the ground level soldiers of the comic book industry. So, hell yeah. Yeah, small press is the ones to worry about. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Southern Comic Geek? I've missed a lot of comments because I missed a lot of comments because I was just rambling. So if I missed your comment, just throw it in again. We're still going. Goon is a blast. Got a stack of Hellboy trade paperbacks too I got to read. Hell yeah, Tin Man. Hey, what's up, Bruce? How are you doing? Where should I start with Hellboy? Hellboy 1, yeah. You need to start with the Hellboy Omnibus Volume 1, Seed of Destruction. Start there. I need to read all of Goon. I've only read the first, 3 or 4 trades. Yeah, Tin Man, I read Baltimore. I love Baltimore. I have every issue. I love it. I love the hell out of it. I've been reading all these Spawn. I'm about to get into Madman, and then I'm going to get all my Baltimore together. I got too many plans. Too many plans. Now we got some opinions about Alterna I see out there. Well, I've said what I've said, and that's, this is what I think. I thought it was news that they were reporting that it was August, and then Bleeding Cool came out and said they've heard mid-May. So I thought that was just news to report. But they have done work in the past that I like, but I've not been reading any of their work for a long time now. I almost feel bad for some of the creators. It seems like the publisher, whoever it is that's in charge of Alterna, it seems like he's the one that's getting the most of the controversy. And it seems like most of the controversy, as far as I'm aware, and maybe it goes deeper than this, I don't know. But it seems like it's about that they kind of took a neutral stance on creators blocking people that were like harassing them, maybe allegedly or aligned with Comicsgate or something like that, right? So to be honest, that's all so silly to me that it's ridiculous. I like good comic book work, right? But I did stop reading Alterna Comics. That may have been an influence on it. Obviously I'm not a member of Comicsgate, and I don't align myself with that cause. My cause is good comics. I just want good, fun comics. And I know that there are going to be some comics I like and some comics I don't. And I'm cool with that. But I feel bad for some creators where that was their option, then all that shitstorm kind of hit. But I know some people left or whatever, but the ones I read that I really liked were the 12, Zero Jumper, and Tinseltown. I thought those were really good. I read others, but I never really got into them as much as I did. And they always come damaged. It's really cool that they're cheap, and it's cool that they're newsprint, but they always come damaged from time in. I swear, they always come damaged. I'm not even kidding, man. They always come damaged. So not a speculator's choice, I'm sure. Or maybe it is. You find the undamaged copy. Hey, what's up, Conquistadorks? How are you doing, buddy? You going to be on the show tomorrow night? I plan on attending if you guys will have me again. Chad told me not to ask, just show up, so he sends me the link, I'll do it. So just let everybody know, I plan on, if they're doing the show tomorrow night on 90MF Comics, Comic Book Corner, I plan on attending and being a part of it for the 3rd week in a row. I have so much fun with Chad and Javi and D-Hyde and Hialeah, and just so much fun. Such a great crew of dudes. And I wish I could do it every Tuesday. But I'm also itching for comic books to return too. And yeah, wearing shades tonight for the second half, but not wearing Teen Dog shades. But if people get me going enough, we may do a 3rd segment and have Teen Dog Shade night. I feel like it's already going to happen. I'm not saying we're doing a 3-hour stream. I'm not saying that. I don't want to do the 3-hour stream, but if the spirit leads us, we got to go where the spirits lead us. This is the most disorganized, unplanned Rockin Robbie Live I've done in a long time. What else were we going to talk about? Let's get some questions in. So you want some recommendations or something? I feel like I'm nearing the end of the earth, the flat earth. I'm not a flat earth guy, by the way. You guys, and don't forget that we have it on record that Bueller said he would do a Teen Dog Shades night with me. So I think I need to call that in. I think we're going to call that favor in. Yeah, you're right, John. Now that we got the Joker van paid for, we got the money raised for the Joker van in a week, and I'm so thankful and grateful and proud of the PCP Army. And now we are already like, what was it? Oh, I lost it. We were like $15 or something into the next goal after the Joker van, which was the new microphone. It's the same microphone that Joe Rogan uses. And I'm going to get it. And we're $15 in donations towards it. And I'm very grateful. So thank y'all so much. I plan on doing more shows live with other people, including comic book creators. So I would like to have a good fun mic because I like to mess with the mic. I just need something a little bit better than this. Chris says, amen, Robbie. I don't know what you're referring to, but I thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Si. Hey, what's up, Robbie? Yeah, Robbie, I saw your name earlier and I forgot to get to your comment. I'm sorry, buddy. Robbie says, I don't know about everyone else, but when we are able to go back to our local LCSs and buy some new comics, I'm going to buy the F out of some new comics. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Robbie. And Robbie, you know me personally, and you're a patron of our shop. I'm there 5 days of the week, doing mail order and limited curbside. So if you need anything or if you're looking for anything, I have access to the warehouse. I've been doing inventory work, getting things ship shape and more complete. And it's been inspiring me in some of my reading and collecting. So if there's anything you're looking for or not, if you just want a recommendation on something, you holler at me, homie. We can take care of your fix. And we can mail it to you. And for you, I'll tell them I can't guarantee anything, but shipping department's not really my purview, but I'll be like, you guys just go easy on the shipping on them, man. Or maybe I'll just make up for it with with a discount. That's what I'll do. Hey, we got a super chat. Tyler, my man, mic check. Thank you so much. That's $25 towards the new camera. Zach was asking me about the price. I don't want to go over the price. It's going to be a pricey camera. But I do appreciate every donation. And every donation we get from this point tonight forward goes towards that microphone. So we really do appreciate it, Tyler. And I'm ready to do that mic check. The price is comparable to the last camera, but we did that in a few months. So I think I feel pretty good. And thank you so much, man. Got a pull list through DCBS, so whenever it comes, it's fine. Got a lot of trades and Omni that I haven't read yet anyways. Bruce, you're right. It's a good time. Even if they're not releasing, no matter what our opinions on, or if they should release certain things digitally and just kind of keep the hype alive or whatever, no matter what the opinions are, this is a perfect time. The reality is the reality. And this is a perfect time to reread some stuff. And I've been reading some stuff, some classic fun stuff. I got plans to make a video this week. I should have time Wednesday, hopefully. And I'm very, very excited about some of the things I've been reading. And of course, I've been doing my reread of Spawn, and I'm enjoying it. But I think I want to hit Spawn to issue 50, stop for a moment, and read Madman. Because I got in a conversation with Nelson a few weeks ago about Madman, and it's been on my brain since then. I want to reread Madman, The Atomics, all that shit. All that shit. Tyler says, I jumped on the Vault train during These Savage Shores. Are there any other Vault titles you would recommend? And I noticed that Chris gave some really good ones. Friendo, Fearscape, Wasted Space. I would totally recommend those ones as well. I would also recommend Maxwell's Demons, Deep Roots, Heathen, Zojakon. That's with a Z. Zojakon. There's some other good ones. The Plot, for sure. Plot. First one of that's out. Speaking of Vault, anybody been watching Vagrant Queen? Vagrant Queen is a sci-fi TV series based on a Vault comic book called Vagrant Queen. It's not my favorite Vault comic, but I do like it. And I gave a review on the first episode a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was okay. Had some pretty colors, but it was okay. And then I watched episode 2. Now, 3 episodes are out now. I haven't watched 3, but I really, really liked episode 2. It really kind of won me over. So I really, really liked that. Speaking of Vault, a new comic book announced today. Giga. It's the new Alex Packnadel book. Alex Packnadel was the writer of Friendo. We covered Friendo on Comics Revisited, so definitely check that one out if you haven't already. And during the live premiere, Alex actually showed up and chatted with us, and it was super, super fun. But he's got a new book called Giga, and it is all about, he says it's like Neon Genesis with his own tinge of sci-fi. So it's got giant mechs and people that pilot them, and I'm so pumped. I've seen some artwork. I should have put more artwork together for this. But Friendo's one of my favorite Vault comics, and very excited for his new work. White Noise, which is the studio that Alex Packnadel, Ram V, Dan Waters, and Ryan O'Sullivan are all a part of, and they had a whole wave of Vault comics, and now they have a second wave, and I'm very, very excited. Storms did not hit me bad last night at all, John. Will Uncanny X-Force make a good movie? It could, but you got to establish some stuff, I think, before that. You got to, first of all, none of the X stuff has been established in the MCU, so let's establish it and then we can move on. But I think it would work, especially if it was Apocalypse-based. But I think you would almost have to establish Apocalypse first. The crux of Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force to me is the tragedy of Archangel. And you need to know who Apocalypse is. That has to happen first. You can kind of merge it together, but I don't think... you could kind of merge it together, but it would just make a great X-Men movie, I'll tell you that. A 3-hour show. A 3-hour show. Hell yeah. All right, all that shit includes Ecstatics. Yeah, I love Ecstatics. And his X-Force run with Pete Milligan. Hell yeah. It's good stuff. I'm a big Allred fan. Yeah, like Pope says, nearly all Vault is solid. 100%. Like, you could just roll the die. There's some ones that don't respond, that don't resonate with me as well as others, but for the most part, I pretty much dig everything Vault. But yeah, Friendo, These Savage Shores, Maxwell's Demons, Deep Roots, Wasted Space, Heathen, She Said Destroy, Queen of Bad Dreams. Those are good ones. Hot take, Neon Genesis, the manga is better than the anime. I've never read the manga. Brooks has, and Brooks tells me it's good. I've always wanted to get it. I love the anime, though. And I'm not a super big anime fan, which most people know. But that's one I really, really like. That and Akira, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Big O, Trinity Blood, Blood, The Last Vampire. I never watched Blood Plus. Should I? What else? Escaflowne. I like Escaflowne for some reason. It makes me feel weird when I watch it, but I like it. It's a good Teen Dog Shady type show, but not so much as Evangelion. Man, I should rewatch some Evangelion. I haven't watched that shit in like over 10 years, y'all. Maybe I should. Missed the Deadly Class show. John, I never watched it. I should totally check it out. Let's see here. Oh, Robbie, you got it, big dog. For whatever reason, I've been thinking about reading the original Alpha Flight run. Also, who was the writer during Jim Lee's Fantastic Four run? Any good? Who was the writer? Was it probably Brandon Choi? I don't know. Is it good? I think it's okay. It's all right. I'll be honest, it's not bad. What I really like about his run is that Jim Lee gets to go into his Fantastic Four run knowing where the series was going. When Stan Lee and Jack Kirby first started Fantastic Four, they didn't know where it was going. You know what I'm saying? So it took 48 issues for Galactus to show up. So Jim Lee was able to kind of tie it all together with the Inhumans and Galactus, and it's this big story. It's one big story, and Doom's involved, and it's really cool, and it's tied into their origin, and I think it's great. It's a great starting point for like a cinematic interpretation of the Fantastic Four. Excuse me. The first few issues, the first 5 or 6 are done by Jim Lee, so the art's pretty cool. It's 90s Jim Lee, and I think you'd like it. I like it. I love the way he draws the Thing. I like the costumes. I like the Heroes Reborn FF. In the second half, Brett Booth comes on and does the artwork, and it's okay. But I personally have an affinity for Heroes Reborn. And Robbie, I can guarantee you that I probably have all 12 issues of that at the shop. And I probably have most of that Alpha Flight run. You're talking about the John Byrne one, right? I've never read that, but I'm such a John Byrne whore that I should. We just recently put like almost a whole collection in our dollar books. I gotta see if I can find that because I almost thought about buying them. But I'm pretty sure we have most of them, and they're cheap, man. They're cheap. Robbie, I will not remember this. I already got the shades on. I'm not going to remember this. So if you remember, send me a text tomorrow or something, and I'll look and I'll see what we have. But I know that I got probably the entirety of that Jim Lee run, and I think you would like it. And what I do like about it is you read it, it's very 90s. It's stilted, it's stunted. The writing's not sophisticated or anything like that. The dialogue's not going to blow your mind. But the gist of the story, how the origin of the Fantastic Four and the origin of Doctor Doom was tied into the Inhumans and Galactus, and it all made one cohesive story in 12 issues, I thought was pretty solid. Are all those white noise folks putting out new Vault comics too? Yes, they're all doing a new book. In fact, Ryan unofficially is doing Fearscape Book 2, and I'm very excited for that. I don't know what Dan's doing. I know he's doing something with Alex as well, but that may be separate. I know Alex has got a TKO book coming out, and Joe Corallo and Liana Kangas are writing a book for TKO Wave 3 as well, and I'm very excited for that. But yeah, as far as I know, Rom, Ryan, and Dan also have another book coming out from Vault. Deadpool is in X-Force, Eric, and I'll tell you this. And Eric, I know you keep throwing all this Deadpool nonsense at me. So let me address that. It's not that I'm not a fan of Deadpool. I don't believe in a bad character. I just don't believe okay, here's my thoughts on Deadpool. Deadpool, for the most part, is written very obnoxiously and just kind of pedestrian, right? But the initial run by Joe Kelly is really good. The Christopher Priest stuff is really good. So most of that original solo Deadpool run is solid and good. And I agree. I think so. But then he kind of becomes super popular, and then he kind of becomes a cliche, right? And that's what happens to Deadpool. It's what's happened to Damian. Damian is one of my favorite Robins under certain writers' hands. And in most writers' hands, he's just obnoxious and two-dimensional. Deadpool gets that way. I still say, to date, the best Deadpool has ever been written is in that Rick Remender Uncanny X-Force run. I loved Deadpool in that run. I really like the initial wave of the Brian Posehn, Jerry Duggan Deadpool run. The Dead President story in particular, I think is fantastic. And I really liked the start of Scotty Young's run, and I fell out of it. but I definitely do want to go back and check it out. So it's not that I hate Deadpool. I have a Deadpool action figure on card, the very first one ever made. Toy Biz. And I have one open, but not with all the weapons. Anyway, so it's not that I hate Deadpool, but I think the majority of his solo work is kind of not the best. That's all. It's no longer at the point, though, when he shows up in a book that he annoys me. And Harley's jumping out of that for me, too. I'm kind of coming back around on Harley. Which leaves my most hated comic book character to be Jason Todd. Nothing has ever made me like that prick. Though I do think that Under the Red Hood is one of the best DC animated films. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Actually, that makes me like Jason Todd. But the comic books never let me... Yeah. You know, Pope, that's really cool. And what's even cooler is I really think Vault needs to do a, because Marvel and DC at times, other companies, they've done these art short boxes, and I'd like to have a Vault one. That'd be really cool. I remember having a Jim Lee Xmas cover from that run. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, Chris. And Planetary, their version of the Fantastic Four is probably one of my favorite interpretations of the Fantastic Four ever. They're villains, the Four. And I love it. I love the hell out of it. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Kenneth says hi to everyone who is here tonight, and I hope everyone is doing well tonight, too. Same. So apparently nobody else has watched Vagrant Queen, but I do like it. I thought episode 2 was really cool. I'm going to check out episode 3 pretty soon. And Giga was just announced from Vault. It's a new Alex Pagnadell book. It's going to be very heavily inspired by Neon Genesis Evangelion. So this show is fueled by your questions and your thoughts and your comments and your concerns and all that stuff. Brian, you don't have cable TV anymore? I know that the first episode is available to watch on YouTube, and I think that the second one is, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think the second one might be. Just maybe. So you might want to check and see what's available on YouTube. Yeah, the Planetary Batman one's the best. In fact, out of all the crossovers they did a Planetary Batman, Planetary JLA, Planetary Authority. The Batman one's the best. Yeah, Pope, that early Warren Ellis Stormwatch that led into Authority is amazing. Me and Jelani did a comics revisited on it in season 1. And we did Authority in season 2. And in season 3... we're doing the Wildstorm. And I'm very excited for that. Yeah, when me and Brian met Warren Ellis, he told Brian that Planetary Batman was one of his favorites as well. Because that's one of Brian's favorites. Brian Weaver. He's a member of the Excitable PCP crew, and he's also one of our patrons. All right, well, oddly enough, I gotta pee. So, before we get into show and tell, we're going to keep this going a little bit long. So you know what that means. It means we're coming back for a third segment. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back for a third segment. And when we come back from the third segment, we're doing Teen Dog Shades. So get any questions. Teen Dog Shades mean... no holds barred. Ask me anything you want to ask me. I'll answer it. We'll get going. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Y'all, get ready. Teen Dog Shades are coming on. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. You can check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. You can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, you might as well follow Pop Culture Philosophers. We're also on Instagram, and you can support us at patreon.com/PCP like these fine fellas right here. Here we are, segment 3. And it's Teen Dog Shades, y'all. So let's see what's going on. The question was, what have you been reading? That's the big question of the night. But right now we're in the final segment. We're going to be doing the final 9. We'll be doing a little bit of show and tell. And we'll continue this conversation. So get any questions in right now. No holds barred. So let's see what happens here. Pope says, here's the question, Warren Ellis's best work. Well, I did just released a top 5 Warren Ellis comic book video. And my number 1 is Planetary. Then he goes, did he mention Transmetropolitan? Yes, I did. What number? I don't know. You'll have to watch to find out. Max says, got to get some shrooms. Hell yeah. Logan, thank you for still hanging with the strong. Y'all are the true PCP soldiers that are here 2 hours into the stream. David says, Robbie inducting us into his Grant Morrison cult. Sure. Why not? Maybe that is the plan. Maybe this has all been a plan to induct you. Pope says, side note, just completed Volume 1 Punisher. Nearly have every Punisher series complete, but Volume 1 is done. All near mint. Hell yeah, Pope. Good job. David just recently told me he has all of Punisher Volume 1. I was like, if you ever want to get rid of it, you just holler at me. I'd like to have that collection. So, hats off. Chaos and Comics is here, my man. What's up? Grant Morrison's not interested in a cult. See, that's the thing, is people that are really on the path like Morrison, they don't care about a cult. They're just trying to attain the great work themselves, man, for other people. Transmetropolitan is right there. I'm currently rereading. Yeah, I want to get into a reread of Transmet. Transmet's scary, I bet, to reread now, because how much of that shit came true, man? Warren Ellis, pay attention to him. Chaos, I'm assuming you get his newsletter. Man, this dude knows what's up. He knows what is. John, what is your favorite show in the DC universe? It was Titans. Titans Season 1. I haven't watched Season 2, but I really like Titans Season 1. Now, I haven't seen most of Doom Patrol, and I haven't seen Swamp Thing, so I don't know if that really lets me know. Out of all the shows that are on there, it's Batman the Animated Series, though. Spawn, what? Hey, what's up, Rylan? Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Manhattan Project's thoughts? I really, really like Manhattan Projects. I think it's a wild, fun, raucous Jonathan Hickman book. I am just eager to see it actually complete because it went 5 volumes, then it had a 6th volume where they basically the entire cast kind of split up and they're all going to have their own finales now. And we've only gotten one of those so far for Yuri, so yeah, I love Manhattan Projects. And yeah, the art is amazing. That's Nick Pitara. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Derek Robertson's a great artist, y'all. Brian wants to know if I've ever had sleep paralysis. Yes, I have. It's a terrifying experience. And I understand how people can construe that to be some kind of a demonic thing. I'll be honest with y'all. In most of my instances of sleep paralysis, which it doesn't happen frequently, but it's happened multiple times in my life, usually the spirit of a dead loved one is involved. So I understand, and that's I think the mind kind of playing with archetypes in your head. Man, it's spooky. It's spooky as hell. It is scary as fuck. And I vividly remember flailing around in my bed, like not being able to move, and yeah, it's terrible. I have a cousin that used to have that, and my aunt used to really believe that a demon would be resting on her chest, and that's an ancient belief too. And I think that's where the idea of the succubus and the incubus come from. You know the incubus. I wish you were here. What's the best incubus song? Me personally, I think it's Make Yourself. That's just me. I also really like New Skin. But I know a lot of us for a while got tired of it, including me, but Drive is a badass song as well. Any Incubus fans in here? I love how the teen dogs can derail into Incubus talk. New Skin is amazing though, and so is Make Yourself. Make Yourself is not the album. The album is great. But the song Make Yourself is like a personal anthem of mine. Oh, hell yeah, Eric. It seems like Eric helped influence Deadpool being continuing in X-Force, and I think that's dope. But Rylan, thank you so much. That $2 makes us now $17 into the new microphone for the live streams. I plan on doing more live streams with other people, not just members of the YouTube community like I have been, but also creators. So I want to get a good new microphone for that. So super, super cool. We are now $17 towards that. And I'm very excited. Thank you so much. We have completed funding of the Joker Toy Biz van tonight, and we have now made progress on our next goal of the microphone. So thank you guys so much, PCP Army. Yeah, Stormwatch 37 to 50, amazing run. Warren Ellis. You also want to get the Stormwatch Wildcats Aliens crossover. It's the Wildcats Aliens crossover. You want to get that too. I was thinking today, I was like, I don't have the complete Alan Moore Wildcats run, and I was like, I've collected like 20 something issues of Spawn. Let's get all of Wildcats Volume 1. I have all of Volume 2 and 3. Let's get Wildcats Volume 1. That's got to be easy, right? Alan Moore did like what, 21 through 37 or something like that. Plus he did issue 50. Maybe I just said 37 and 50 because I saw it there, Pope. Oh yeah, Rylan, it's good. It's not yet completed, but it is good. It is Manhattan Projects is great. It's a great alternate take, an alternate zany take on the science reality of the 20th century. I've not finished Harrow County yet either. I've only read like the first book of that. I need to, though. I'm really excited. All right, John, have a good one, buddy. Rylan, come on. First of all, Science is an amazing Incubus album. It really is. Make Yourself's great too, though. Make Yourself is such an amazing... I like Make Yourself more, but I'm not sleeping on Science, and I don't like anything they've done since Make Yourself near as much as those two albums. Those two albums are Incubus. And there are songs that I like, and I've seen them live, and they're still good. They're still great. But man, you just can't beat that. But me personally, one of my favorite, like my anthem is Make Yourself, the actual song. But I said Make Yourself and New Skin. So yeah, I threw love at Science. New Skin's one of my favorite Incubus songs. Outside of Make Yourself. Tyler's right there with me. And you say $40 when you discuss Hickman's FF. Rylan, you ain't got to give me $40. All you got to do is ask. I'll tell you what I think about Hickman's FF. I think I've said it plenty on this channel. I love Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is my favorite comic book of all time. I'm spotlighting the two new issues I bought there. It's a 47 and a 56. Low grade, but still. Yeah, Pope. Nick Pitarra is a little bit like Jeff Darrow as far as the intricate, clean detail. He's a little bit more rough than Jeff Darrow is, but right there, I totally get that, 100%. And he's not as clean as Jeff, though. But I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, and so I love any good Fantastic Four run. And I did my very first top 5 video I ever did was top 5 Fantastic Four runs. And Jonathan Hickman's run, I'm pretty sure, was number 2. It should be number 2. Number 1, it's got to be Kirby and Lee. Kirby and Lee made the Fantastic Four, created all those ideas. So I think Hickman is number 2. Absolutely love it. It starts off so strong already, and it goes. So Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run starts off so classic and strong. He even does an Impossible Man issue, and it's great. And from the very beginning, he builds up the idea of the Future Foundation, right? So basically, all of Jonathan Hickman's Marvel work was one story up until, I guess, the X-Men stuff. And maybe that's connected in some way. We'll see. But Secret Avengers or Secret Warriors, then he did Fantastic Four. He built Fantastic Four up to a point, and then he killed a member off, and then he ended Fantastic Four and relaunched as FF, Future Foundation. And that was something he laid literally in the first issue. So I love the FF run. And then they brought back the person who had passed away, because some people haven't read it, and I don't want to spoil this run because this run is so amazing. And he gets back together, and then he has both books going on at the same time, and he keeps building it up and building it up and building it up and building it up. And they both can be read on their own, or they can be read together, and it builds up to this big epic finale that involves, he adds so many elements to the Inhuman and the Kree. He brings in all this stuff. He brings in future ideas. One of the best moments, there's some of the best Fantastic Four moments out there. One of the best Doctor Doom moments is in Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. And it's when he's part of the Future Foundation and he's the last stand against the Celestials. It's absolutely amazing. I rant and rave about that. And then there's a moment involving Franklin and Galactus. Come to me, my Galactus. And holy cow, I love the hell out of that. So I love his FF run. But then I actually even think his FF run continues on, because at the end of his Fantastic Four and FF runs, he lays the seeds for his Avengers run. In particular, his new Avengers run. So I would honestly say that Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run doesn't end, and it goes right into New Avengers, because he puts the focus back on Reed. And by the way, all the Council of Reed shit, amazing. Amazing. So then he throws all that in, and he does his Avengers run. He does a great solid Avengers story, but then he has New Avengers, which really starts pulling a lot from what he did in Fantastic Four. And then he builds that up into Secret Wars. And Secret Wars is a final farewell to the Fantastic Four, to the Marvel Universe. Now, in reality, not much has changed, but what Hickman did was, in a very DC way, he destroyed the Marvel multiverse and then had one single universe, right? Ruled by Doom. And the very final Marvel Universe story, which Hickman got to write. And then, of course, it relaunches, and whatever. It's like nothing has changed. However, at the time, story-wise, this is the very last Marvel Universe story And what was it at the end? It was about Richards and Von Doom. And that is the crux. That's the core. It's the crucial bit of the dichotomy of the Marvel Universe. It's Reed Richards and his vision and Victor Von Doom and his vision. And that's what Hickman did so well. And if you love Hickman's Fantastic Four run, you have to read New Avengers and Secret Wars afterwards, because it's all one story. And it's all a Reed and Doom story. And it's so elaborate and expansive in a very Hickman way. And the boldness with which he told those stories has led into Hawks Pox and Dawn of X and what we got right now, which is amazing. So that's what I think about that. And yeah, I love the Byrne run too. Pretty sure that was number 3. Pretty sure I had the Paul Ryan, Tom DeFalco run on there as well. So yeah, I love me some Fantastic Four. New FF video with the new Reggie Cam. I should. I bet I could do a top 5 FF villains, but we all know what my number 1 would be. Yeah, 21 through whatever, Wildcats. Plus Wildcats Volume 2 and 3 are so solid. They're so good. Morrison doing Wildcats? I didn't know Morrison did a run on Wildcats. I'll have to check that out for sure now. I did not know that. Oh, yeah, Wade was the other one of my top 5. So it definitely had Paul Ryan, the Tom DeFalco, Paul Ryan at number 5. Probably had Mark Waid at number 4. Then Byrne, then Hickman, then Kirby and Lee. But I even like the bad runs on Fantastic Four because I just love the hell out of that book. Oh, it's Robbie Morrison. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know that Grant Morrison was going to have a run on Authority after Mark Miller left, but after 9/11, and he went through a dark time personally. I think he lost his father, he lost his cat, and yeah, that's a big deal, y'all. And he kind of went through a dark time, and he tried to exorcise those dark demons through the Filth and Final Crisis. And I think he did. Yeah, anything by Steve Dillon's amazing, no matter what it is. Punisher, Preacher, Hellblazer, Global Frequency. Yeah, we were talking about Alpha Flight earlier, and that's one of the Byrne runs I have not read. But I grew up a big fan of John Byrne's Superman stuff. I read a lot of his X-Men on X-Men Classics. I was a Next Men fan as it was coming out. Really loved Next Men. And a big John Byrne fan here. I even read Lab Rats, y'all. No, I did not get the Jeff Darrow Usagi wraparound variant. That sounds cool, though. I've read through the first John Byrne Fantastic Four Omnibus, hoping to find Volume 2 Omnibus for a decent price. They are expensive. You could probably get the original issues cheaper. What is the worst Fantastic Four run? The worst Fantastic Four run to me is Steve Englehart. He had a run in the late 80s. Reed and Seward left, so it's like Crystal and She-Thing and Thing. Thing's the leader, and Johnny. And Thing is like jagged all looking, like he's gone through another metamorphosis or whatever, and he's all jagged looking. I hate that run so much. I really do. It's a struggle to get through. It's in between Byrne and Simonson. It's somewhere around there. Somewhere like post 300, but before like 330 or something. I hate it. I just do not like that run. It's probably, to me, the weakest. I would also say the Chris Claremont run's pretty weak. I don't necessarily like that run, but there's a nostalgic tinge to it for me. But yeah, the Steve Englehart run is probably the weakest to me. I don't like it when Reed and Sue aren't there. Reed, to me, needs to be there. I know that the most popular characters are Johnny and Ben, But Reed, to me, is what makes the Fantastic Four the Fantastic Four. But yeah, Burns FF is amazing. Burns FF is amazing. This is some of the first FF I ever read. And then right post-Burn. But the Steve Englehart stuff I don't like. I just don't like it. I still read it, though. Yeah, Brian, I read Think Tank for a few issues and really liked it, but then I always planned on getting caught back up, and I never did. But I thought Mac Hawkins did a great job with that character in that book, but I kind of left out. Well, Herminio, you got a great bias there, I'll tell you that. But yeah, the Wade Wieringo run's really good. But the Byrne, Hickman, and Kirby and Lee runs are better, I would say. Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing? You're never late. You're just on time. What numbers of the FF are you referring to? Depends on what run we're talking about. I've talked about so many I don't really rightly know. I could not read Fractions FF and Hickman's at the same time, or my mind would have exploded. Fractions FF doesn't really excite me that much. It's okay. I think it's better when you read it all together, but he also kind of dipped out midway through. Yes, those Englehart issues are painful. Somehow I read that first as a kid and survived it as a fan to the 90s cartoon show. Hell yeah, good for you. Dan Slott's FF run was good at first, but it's gotten stale for me. Yeah, it's some of the stories go a little too long. I think the highlight has been that 2-issue story with the Thing and the Hulk. I still like it. It's not bad, but it could be better. Yeah, the Englehart run is 304 through 332. There you go. Then I said somewhere post 300 to the 330s or something. Because then Walt Simonson came on and gave a very, very brief run, but a very good run. And then Paul Ryan and Tom DeFalco came on. And I love that run. It's very soap opera-y, but I love the hell out of it. Pope, what to read after the issue 300? The best ones are the Walt Simonson run, to be honest. You could read the Paul Ryan, Tom DeFalco run, and that's decent. Scott Lobdell did 3 issues that were good, solid. That's Fantastic Four Volume 3, 1 through 3, and then Chris Claremont came on and didn't do a very good job, I don't think. I've talked to him about his run, and I have a better appreciation for it now. And he gave us Valeria, but still, I don't know. But then Jeff Loeb and Carlos Pacheco had a decent run. There, Adam Warren came in; it was kind of whack. Mark Miller's run is really good. The J. Michael Straczynski run is okay, but to me, it's the Simonson run, the DeFalco run. The Loeb and Pacheco run's pretty decent, but then the Mark Waid run is essential, and then from there you can go right into Jonathan Hickman. Fractions run's okay. I've never read Casanova, though. What was really cool was having Mike Allred on the art on FF, which was more Ant-Man-centric, but still good. Hawkman Fraction is okay, good art. I really like Hawkman, Fraction's Hawkeye run. I really like his Jimmy Olsen right now. I think that's one of the best. Yeah, that Grim Noir one-shot's really good, Herminio. Really, really good. All right. So any more questions, get them in. Let's do it. What do you think the delay in comics that Marvel might shake up some creative teams? I don't think so, Quinn. I don't think they're going to shake up too much. I think they're just kind of still going about business as usual for most part and getting caught up on things. I think their plans are going to remain the same, though. It might shake up some DC stuff, but that had already been shaken up. The Fantastic Four giant size was like 3 feet tall. What are we talking about? It was like an omnibus they come out with or something? I know they did that X-Men one that was huge. Jim Lee. Well, we've been talking about all this Fantastic Four, so it's time to do some show and tell. So any more questions or thoughts or concerns or anything, get them in right now. Because we are nearing the end of the program, probably like the last 20, 30 minutes. I have some of the Treasury Fantastic Fours, but I've never seen one 3 feet tall. That'd be cool, though. Shit, I'd buy it if I saw it. Tell you that. All right, show and tell. So, behind me, I've got a couple Fantastic Four issues. And I've got a Thing pop and a Doctor Doom pop. So out of the new Fantastic Four pops that have recently come out, am I going to grab the Silver Surfer Omni in May? No, I don't really buy a lot of omnibuses, but is it the Dan Slott one? Is that the one we're talking about? Because that one seems pretty dope. And I've heard that runs really, really good because Mike already did the artwork, and I've never really read all of it, and I want to. Is that the Slott Allred one? Because I've heard so many good things about that, and I really want to read it. Yeah, the Dan Slott run. Oh, it's the Bashima run. Oh, for like the Volume 1 stuff? Well, that's an interesting proposition. I do have a Treasury size edition that's pretty big. David Hatch gave me that for Christmas last year. Oh, the original 1801 omnibus? Man, that's a really good idea. I'd buy the hell out of that in an Epic collection. But that would be a good omnibus to get. I'm not even kidding. I think he may have just sold me. Yeah, I might have to get that. All right, so, and by the way, it's still a Teen Dog Shades kind of moment, so get any questions in right now if you want them. Got the Fantastic Four spread behind me. So let's open some pops. Let's fill out this pop right here. So here's the Sue. I got this a while ago. It's the GameStop exclusive in which she's partially turning invisible. And we're going to open it now. And we're going to take a look at it. So in my recent reread of Fantastic Four, I'm on Stan Lee and Jack Kirby stuff still, and I just read issue 25 and 26. Second battle between the Hulk and the Thing. Hulk kicks the Thing's ass, by the way. And then issue 26 is the first team-up between the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. It's really interesting. So there's Sue. It's the GameStop exclusive, so she's partially invisible, as you can see. She's got the force field bubbles. She's got the classic haircut. I like that pop. She's got tiny legs. She got a base. Usually with a lot of the women, they give them a base because they got like these tiny little legs. Yep, she gets a base. My Jim and the Hologram pops came with a base, and so did my Raptor pop from it was in Jurassic Park. Yeah. I have beat-up readers of the whole run. I might sell all but issue 1 and 4 and buy some of those omnibus editions. Save issue 3 as well, buddy. That's first Mephisto. That's going to be a big deal. It's already a big deal. It's going to be a bigger deal when it actually happens. And you know it's going to happen. Isn't that 3? Maybe you're right. Maybe that's 4. So we're going to put the Sue on her base so we can get her over there next to the thing. There we go. Jesus. I can really only get 1 foot on the base at a time. Otherwise, you got to scrunch it, but that's good enough. We'll put her right there. Let's see. I think the slot Silver Surfer Omnibus just went out of print. Kirby, I think you're right. Being a Sagittarius, I'm a Hawkeye fan. That makes sense. Can I get a Daredevil recommendation? I read Bendis, End of Days, Yellow, and loving the latest run. Kevin Smith, Guardian Devil. David Mack, Parts of a Whole. The Brubaker run right after the Bendis run is essential. And then the Mark Waid runs. And then the new Charles Soule stuff. Or not Charles Soule stuff. The new Chip Zdarsky stuff. Oh, yeah. And wait, was Frank Miller not listed? Yeah, read the Frank Miller stuff right now. Frank Miller, Volume 1, 2, and 3, Born Again, and Man Without Fear. Read those immediately next. Yeah, 4 is the Hulk issue. I mean, the Thor issue with the Rainbow Bridge. Hell yeah. Yeah, keep 3 and 4. So that was Susan. Here we got a Johnny, Flamed On Johnny. I have a Flaming On Johnny. We'll open at a later date, but for now, we'll just get the full-on Flaming Human Torch. He looks like he's got a really cool base. Yes, he does. All right. Look at that. Beautiful pop. That's better than the Golden Age Human Torch they did. Hell yeah. All right, I can dig it. I can dig it already. Yep. A lot of people, Frank Miller. Good stuff. Do you see John Krasinski as Reed Richards? Yes, absolutely 100%. Speaking of Reed Richards, bam. Got him a while ago. Now we're going to open him up. Because we're going to get this Fantastic Four team completed tonight, y'all. I thought you were losing it for a second with not saying Miller at first. Yeah, I didn't realize that Miller wasn't mentioned. That's the first Daredevil run to read. Yellow is good, though. If you could pick an order, I would go Man Without Fear, Daredevil Yellow, Frank Miller's run, Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith, Parts of a Whole by David Mack, then the Bendis run, then the Brubaker run, skip Diggle, go right into Mark Waid, and then go skip Soule and go to Zdarsky. There's the read. Mr. Fantastic. My favorite superhero of all time. Looks like we got room. Looks like we got room for one more. Well, if we're going to have the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, who should belong up there? Who do you think? Rylan says, stupid Pops. Yeah, but it's Fantastic Four, so I got to get him. Mole Man's a good idea, but it's not Mole Man. But I do have my Mole Man thing here, and I always take every opportunity I have possible to do this. So there you go. The Big G. Easy Reader is still just waiting for Galactus. Nah, it's not Galactus. There you go. I know it's part of a different line, but if you're going to have the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, you can only complete it with a Namor who always wrecks shit, as you notice. So, thank you, Namor. Jesus. Goddamn Namor. So there you go. Bear with. Thank you for bearing with me. Namor's like, screw your Fantastic Four. Don't worry, Eric. Because we're opening him up as well. And don't worry, the rest of them are on the way. Got to open the Big Daddy Galactus. I really wish Target did like a larger version of the Thing. They should have done a larger version of him. They should have done like a 10, 14-inch Galactus. They should have. I need one. I hate the idea that Galactus is the same size as them. I just hate that idea. He is always tearing the surface world down. So yeah, the Galactus Pop looks nice. Except for he's small. But if we're going to have Galactus on here. See how sad that is? He's so small you can barely see. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. Anyway, that was show and tell for the night, y'all. Yep, the home wrecker. Crazy ass Namor. Crazy. All right, any final thoughts, questions, concerns? Get them in right now. We're about to wrap up. Do the final 9. Peace on out. And I'm going to go make some turkey hot dogs. He is being sneaky. He's like coming up. He's like, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? That's a nice planet you got there. It'd be a shame if someone decided to eat it. Yeah. Anyway. You can follow us here at Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and Instagram. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. And if you are on Facebook, join the PCP Army as the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can support us at patreon.com/PCP, where we are currently raising money for a new microphone for the live streams. Yeah, Riley, I'm going to make some more Fantastic Four videos for sure. I'm doing a Hickman video this week. And I'll probably do another Fantastic Four video. Why not? I got some ideas for top 5s. I'm going to I'm going to do on Wednesday night. Be sure to check out 90MF Comics YouTube channel tomorrow night, usually at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's where they do the comic book corner. I should be on there tomorrow night, so I'll be showing off some stuff. Like David says, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. But thank you for all the super chats tonight. We completed fundraising for the Joker Toy Biz action figure line, the Joker van. So that's going to be coming. Yeah, Galactus is cracking me up too. He's just sneaking back there. He's just like, "What's up, man? What's up? What kind of planet you got there?" Anyway, we raised all the money for the Joker van tonight, and we got now $15+ towards the new microphone. It's expensive, but we will get there. Thank you, PCP Army. Thank you for all the support. But before we dip out, we got to do the final 9. So you saw the first 6. And they were cool. But they're not the final 9. Not at all. So here we go, the final 9. I showed my Superboy number 1, signed by Tom Grummett and Carl Kiesel, during the top 6. First 6. But how about a Superman Adventures? That's right, Adventures of Superman 501. First full appearance of Superboy, signed by Grummett and Kiesel on the logo. Die-cut cover. Come on, y'all. Number 2. There's my Venom Funeral Pyre number 1 with a nice prism foil cover. Y'all are going to see a lot of 90s gimmick covers here in my first 6 and final 9 because I'm a sucker for these things. Love the series. We did a comics revisited about it. Love that cover. Number 3. It's one of my mini Aquaman number 1s. This one's from 1986. Yes. 1986 Aquaman number 1. It's when he had that weird blue, purple, sky blue costume or whatever. But I like this run. It kind of tries to take his mythology and lore a little bit more magical based, but I do like it. It's a nice revisit of Aquaman. Number 4, we were talking about it earlier. There's my Once and Future number 1. First print. Because y'all know I've been down on this book since day 1. So if you don't want to miss the hype on the next indie sensation, pay attention to the weekly comic book review. Once and Future number 1, right there. Karen Gillan, Dan Mora, Tamara Bonvillain. Robbie, do you have any high-grade FFs under 120? Not high-grade. They're low-grade, but when it gets to 120 and below, I go low-grade. But that's just so it's affordable because I don't resell them. Next one is Superman, the Earth Stealers. We talked a lot about John Byrne. This is a John Byrne one-shot graphic novel he did with Kurt Swan. Look at that. Kurt Swan, Jerry Ordway, and Bill Ray. Love this book. It's a great complete story. You can find it super cheap nowadays, and it's really, really good. You should read it. Kurt Swan's a classic Superman artist. It's inked by Jerry Ordway, and John Byrne's the writer. It's solid as F. Next, Murder Falcon number 1. That's my Murder Falcon number 1, one of the best series of the recent years. Look, signed by Darren Warren Johnson, the creator. Hell yeah. Next up, there's my War Machine number 1. Foil cover. Foil chromium cover, whatever you call it. Love this War Machine series. It's bad. It's not good, but it just brings me tingles in my heart. I have the entire 52 run. There's my 52 number 1. The 52 run's really cool because it includes the first appearance of Batwoman, the new one. So I have that one as well, but I love that cover. J.G. Jones. J.G. Jones. And the final one in my top 9. But before we get to that, he's like the neighbor on Tool Time Wilson. Hell yeah, he is. Swan is awesome. Got to get that. Yeah, it's great. Hey, what's up, Brian? Isn't it Daniel? What did I say? It's Daniel Warren Johnson. Yeah, the first Renee Montoya has questions in that 52 series. You're right. Yeah, Herminio, I love it. The Shinies too. Chris says, I love that Murder Falcon. I have signed copies of those too. Cool guy. He just started a YouTube channel today. Y'all have to check it out. He was a super cool guy. I had a very limited interaction with him. I just talked with him for probably 2 minutes, but a super cool cat. Yeah, that War Machine cover's fire. And the final one in the final 9 is Starman #1 from the 80s. I've never read this series, but I definitely wanted to get it because Scott Snyder used this character in his recent Justice League run. So I was like, you know what? Let's check it out. My favorite thing about this, and here's an appropriate Teen Dog Shades comment. What does the pentagram represent? The star. It represents man. Think about the, what is it called? The Vitruvian dude or whatever? Is that what Leonardo called him? He called him, yeah, I hear Extremity's really good, Brian. I need to get in that. Brian, by the way, that's Chewy Brain is Brian. He's part of the PCP Army. Part of the PCP Excitable crew. He was on the Watchmen video with me we just released not too long ago. Brian, I'll let them all know tonight that, the Vitruvian dude. That's what he called it, right? I let them all know tonight that we were doing Akira for Comics Revisited Season 3. So, yes, the Vitruvian dude. All right, so you got the dude, and he's got his arms out, and he's got his legs out. So that the star, the pentagram, represents man, right? And if you want to add in the elements, oh my God, I'm not going to get this right. Earth is down here. Oh man, I'm not going to remember the other ones. Hold on. Air, earth, spirit, water, fire, air, I think. I don't know. It makes a pentagram, right? Whatever. It's part of the LBRH and all that jam. So anyway, the star, the pentagram, it represents man, and it represents the spirit over the 4 elements, right? So that's why when it's reversed, it's the symbol of Baphomet, right? And it's kind of more, the inversion of that symbol means that matter is over spirit, right? Notice his symbol. It's matter over spirit. That's interesting. That's very interesting to me. It's also a newsstand edition, if you notice. But that's very interesting to me, and I want to kind of read this and see if there's a reason for that, or if it's just because it makes more sense on his chest. But yeah, if you have a star or a pentagram, what it represents is it represents man, and it represents man in its in his more appropriate manner, which is spirit over matter, because earth, wind, air, and fire represent matter, and spirit represents spirit, obviously. And if it's inverted, it's matter over spirit. So that's why it's become like the symbol of like Baphomet, maybe like a satanic symbol or something like that. But it can also be used in more nuanced ways. And it's probably just a design choice on that, to be honest with you. But it's still interesting to me that it's an inverted star. It's an inverted pentagram anyway. And with that, we're at the end of the show. So thank you guys so much for checking out the stream. Please do like if you haven't already. We appreciate the super chats. Like I said, we already have made the Joker van, and that's outside of Patreon and everything. We've done that simply here on super chats, and we are now $15, if not more. I got to tally it up. No, it's still 15, I think. $15 into the new microphone, which is kind of pricey, but we're going to get it because the PCP Army is strong and we'll live through this. So what do you got looking forward to this week? I'm going to be recording some videos on Wednesday for release. I'll be recording a top 5 Hickman video, and I'll be recording an early 90s Marvel video, something interesting that I'm doing. Also, the weekly comic book review will be Wednesday. Whatever is available digitally. I know there's a new Comixology original that is written by Mags Visaggio with editing by Joe Corallo. So I'm very excited to check that one out. So all that's going on as normal. We have watched Critters, and we might do that video this week. If not, we'll just do probably another stream where we're just chilling, hanging out. So we got lots of excitement here on the channel this week. And tomorrow night, I'll be on 90MF Comics at 9 p.m. Eastern to chat with Chad and the rest about comic books and all kinds of fun stuff. So I hope you guys see it. Hope you guys check us out. If we go live here on the channel, it's usually going to be between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern. Or 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern, I should say, because I'm Central. Anyway, we really do appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. We are dipping out, so I'll allow you to exit the portal. Thanks for rocking with us, y'all. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Y'all keep it living, keep it real, keep on reading.